Grab your sense of adventure, Wargamers. We're going to Hintervale. For those of you that haven't watched the couple of introductory episodes, Bill Heth here is a victim of the grandest larceny of them all. An entire empire was stolen from him. Being the kind of adventurous go-getter that he is, he decided to carve out his own empire way off in the hinterlands, way up in the wilds and the mountains. This is call it a box valley, if you will. Lots of points of interest, lots of adventure to be had. The big thing is there are 3 points. There's one point that is a major spawn point of evil, and that is Hellmouth Cathedral. It's a 10-level dungeon. He's going to have to get in there, find the source of evil, and conquer it. He's also going to want to unlock Demon Pass and Dragon Pass, because that's going to allow more gold to flow into the coffers of his fledgling nation down here, his fledgling country. He may find some villages down here. As he is successful, he will attract more followers. Assuming he's successful, there's going to be a lot of combats to be fought in here and a lot of things to explore. He's going to have to demonstrate that this area is safe for other refugees from the wars down in the former empire to the south. You can say, hey, I can make life safe for you, and he'll be able to attract more followers and more villagers, etc., etc. And there may be some villagers up here that are living in fear that will welcome him as a safe protector. So let's find out. I asked you guys, the viewers, tell me which of these points you wanted to go to, 1, 2, 3, or 6. And the general consensus was that number 2, which is closest to our current base of operations, the Keep. It's about a day's journey from the Keep. That's what we want to explore. So my local game shop is called Other Realms, and I've already taken the liberty of pulling all the hearts out of this deck of cards. See, it's all the hearts, and it, as a happy coincidence, almost like Mr. Wargaming planned it that way, there is just as many points of interest as there are cards in a deck. So 13, and just to keep it honest, you can see I've shuffled them up, and let's find out what's behind door number 2. Well, wait a minute, before we do that, there is a 1 in 6 chance that we have a random encounter. Nope, not this time. I'm going to roll every day of travel, and bear in mind 1 inch is 1 day of travel, or 2 inches along the road. I'll roll for every day that Bill wanders around the countryside. On a 1, we'll roll on the Wandering Monsters table. That's a bad name for it. It's just a it's an encounter table. They're not necessarily wandering. Some of those encounters on the table can only happen once. At any rate, so after a day of pushing through the wilderness, Bill and his trusty companions, Caleb, Mendoza, and what was your other buddy? Mendo and Plain Old Gwyn, I should know that. Plain Old Gwyn arrive at number 2 and find the 5 of hearts. So if we take a look, now I've crafted this table. Charts and tables are your friend. The randomness keeps you on your toes. I have crafted a table, and as you can see, number 5 is a small ruined town. Okay, that's the what. Now we're going to go ahead and reshuffle, because likewise, I've got 13 potential encounters. And we're going to shuffle them up nice and good, so we don't know which is which. Bear in mind that from here on out, we're going to pull that 5 of hearts out every time we shuffle to find out what the rest of these are. You only have 1 small ruined town. And I guess it makes sense that that small ruined town is fairly close to the keep. 1 more shuffle. We'll go ahead and cut it. And let's see who lives in the town. 5 of hearts. What a coinky-dink. Grab our heart pen, and it says D6 owlbears. Okay, so we got D6 owlbears, and then there's a question of what. So here we're going to roll a D12. What are the owlbears up to? The other thing we need to establish is how many owlbears. I've only got 4 figures, so it's going to be 2 owlbears, and then we got to figure out what they are up to. And, you know, on second thought, I'm just going to go ahead and redraw a new card. So what if I get like 6 ruined towns? I guess this was a really populated area before the fall, before the Hellmouth took over the cathedral. An 11 means conquest. So the owlbears are looking to conquer this valley. They're wild animals largely, unless there's some kind of weird owlbear cabal. So let's go ahead and figure out what our terrain is going to be next, and then I think we'll be good to go. I've shuffled all of my hearts back into the deck, because we're going to use good old Bill Sylvester's, make one little comment here. We're going to use Bill Sylvester's terrain generation software to figure out what the lay of the land is outside. We'll shove that over there. Outside of the buildings, which will kind of fit in as best we can. And for those of you that haven't seen this before, the black cards are going to be terrain items of interest. The red cards are going to be open areas. And, you know, I'm inclined, I probably should have reversed that. But it's too late now. So we should have about half of the terrain covered with interesting things. Move those just so you can kind of see them. And as you can see, we've got heavy stuff on this side. Maybe we'll have more buildings on that side. After all, we are way out in the wilderness. So it stands to reason that you're going to see a lot more. And my guess is a lot of these are going to be woods. This terrain chart that you see here, hill, anything from a 4 to a 9 is woods. And then you've got 10s or marshes. Jack is a farm. I don't think we have any jacks, though, do we? So we'll take these two kings first. That's going to be a grassy area over here and a grassy area over here. And then that queen is a stream. So we got a stream coming down through here with a hill in the corner. And 6 is going to be heavy wood. 6, and then the 6, 8s, and 10s. So this is all heavy woods in this area. So the heavy woods kind of come up like this. And I guess we got a stream that kind of comes down and hugs the edge of the wood. And maybe we'll put a bridge in here. I guess it's we'll call it we could put a road coming through here. Maybe fork it off, something like this. And maybe this ruined town was once a great road there. Maybe this ruined town was a logging town where the guys would come over here into the heavy woods. I think that's everything. 10. Oh, you know what? 10 is a marsh, actually. So we'll put a marsh down here. And that's going to be, and then, you know, some farmhouses through here. And this is starting to look like every other, opening to a solo war game. If you haven't noticed, those of us that are good at picking up on trends have noticed. I know Rangers of Shadowdeep starts with a ruined town that's swarmed by zombies, and then what's that other game? Forever Tales or something like that? It also starts with zombies in a ruined town. We're going to go a little more interesting. We're going to go with a pair of owl bears. And let's go ahead and take a look at what it's going to take. Bear in mind that we nailed it, man. When we put together our little war band, we said, about 300 points will do it. It's 330 points. If you're playing Song of Deeds and Glory, they actually recommend that you start off with 300-point war bands going up against a string of 500-point war bands. What can I say? We're good. So to put together our owl bears, and we're going to want to make these guys about 200 points apiece because there's just the two of them. I brought out Flashing Steel because it's the first of these Song of series that includes this little chart right here. This is fantastic. This is great. Look at this. It tells you what the point costs are for different quality and combat values. So if we want to make these guys super weak with a quality of 2 and a combat of 0, it's only 1 point. Well, man, you might as well give them a quality of 2 instead of 6, right? At any rate, I think what we'll do is we'll try to bulk these guys out. We're going to give them a quality of 5 and a combat value. Quality of 3 and a combat value of 6. So they're tough. We're going to make them 3 plus 6. They're going to activate on, you know what? Let's make it 2. These guys are motivated. We're wading into their home turf. And if we can clear them out of this town, then that will extend the range of the keep, and we'll be able to use this as a base, and we'll be able to start bringing farmers and villagers in that we can tap for recruiting in the future. So not a lot of gold to be won here. I mean, we can roll on the standard campaign chart for whatever, 30 to 40, but this is going to unlock, it's going to simplify things greatly for us moving forward. We won't have to run all the way back down. Now, these will be vulnerable. And if we do wind up with some bandits, the bandits may raid these guys until we go clear them out. This campaign could get really complicated really quick. So if we have our owl bears as 3/6, and I already forgot. What did we say that was? 60 points? No, 2-6, which is about as good as it gets, guys. 70. So that's 75 points. We're already up to 150. And then we got to slap on some extra abilities. All right, here they are. Our owl bears are big and tough berserk animal foresters. So look at these bad boys. They have a 2+ to activate, combat value of 6. When they take a hit, this goes down by 1. So they can take 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 hits for a total of 336 points compared to my boys' 322 points. So on paper, it's an even fight. However, we got a lot of woods here. The fact that these guys are foresters mean they can move through at will. Oh, you know, we need to figure out, this is a stream. We need to figure out how. Oh, and we know from looking at the map, that stream, I'll put a little dotted line here, does something like this. We know it's flowing from north to south, right? Makes sense. We're in a valley. This is a little stream. Well, I mean, I guess it could be going one way or the other. Let's find out how big that stream is. 1 being barely a ditch, you can just walk right across it. 6 being a raging torrent that is only crossable here, or if that's the case, we may add a ford up here too. So 5. So it's going to take, so this is a pretty substantial stream. So that being the case, let's go ahead and say, all right, this is now a stream. And it's substantial. Hey, it's in the middle of the valley. So all of any other streams we encounter in these locations are going to be flowing towards this stream right here. There's going to be a bridge over this stream somewhere. That'll be interesting. Maybe that's what this is right here. We'll find out later. For today, the point is going to be that it takes a full action to cross. And then we'll add a, so we have a bridge here, and then we'll have to add, let's see if there are any fords where it gets particularly shallow. And I could see there being a ford up here, or down here. So let's say it's here on a, let's see, there is no ford. On a 1, there's none. On a 6, there's, let's say on a 2, there's one here. We'll do this. On a 6, there's both. On a 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so on a 2, 3, there's one to the north. On a 4, 5, there's one to the south. And on a 6, there's one in both locations. So a 2 means there is a ford right here. Okay, there you go. There's our battlefield. We've got a stream that is very difficult to cross. We're going to say it takes 2 actions to cross. It's very difficult. So you move up to it, 2 full actions to cross. So you need 3 actions if you want to move. Otherwise, you need to start on this side of it, take 2 full actions to get to here, and then on your next action you can move. The heavy woods are going to be broken terrain, so you're going to move using the slow measurement. Unless you're one of these guys. Although, actually, I think, isn't our archer? Let's take a look. I think Mendo is also a forester. I know Caleb, our trusty animal companion, he is a forester. Who else is? I thought Mendo was. Yep, Mendo is as well. Hey, that's great. So we got a couple of guys that are foresters. They're not going to be bothered, which is good, because these guys are going to be big beasts. Not exactly sure how to run this battle. I think our boys came across a track and said, let's find out where this track leads. So they are going to spawn either here or here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4. So our heroes are going to come on from the north, oddly enough. And then our animals, so they're looking to clear this area out. And we don't know where these guys are going to start. They're going to get an ambush bonus. We'll let the heroes go first. And they can spend an action searching a ruined building. And if they are successful, make a quality check on 3 dice. And that'll tell us how successful they are. If they get 3 successes, what we'll do is we'll put our two boys under the buildings, right? And I don't know which ones have the boys. So if they get successes, it will reveal what's in there. If they don't, then these guys are going to do an interrupt, and they'll get an ambush bonus when they attack the guy. Does that make sense? So move into position, spend a turn searching, make a quality check, and if it's successful, we'll roll all three, right? And so on 3 successes, he gets the ambush bonus. Assuming the owlbear is actually there. On any successes, we reveal it. Assuming the owlbear is there, then the hero ambushes and gets to attack the owlbear. On no successes, the owlbear will ambush the hero. And on 2 or 1, on 2, the hero can attack with no bonus, and on a 1, the owlbear attacks with no bonus. I know this is a little sloppy. It'll make a lot more sense when we sit down, set up the train, and actually play this fight out. So that'll be the next episode of Hintervale, when our three heroes come waltzing in to clear this town of the owlbears who have nested inside. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be kind of random. And to make things more complicated, their victory condition is that they have to kill these guys. These guys are going to try to escape over the river. If they can escape, this isn't cleared, and they'll have to hunt them down off in the woods somewhere. There you go. So we may get 2 full scenarios out of this. For now, it's a pretty fair fight, except that, well, these guys have the onus of killing these guys. And if these guys can escape, then all that's going to happen is they're going to have to return empty-handed. We'll give them some gold for notching the win, but it won't be a huge step on the Bill's attempt to build himself a new kingdom. We'll see. Or maybe there'll be some surprises, and we got to surprises like wild roosters. Maybe there'll be some surprises, and we go completely off script, because you never know what the dice, you never know what the cards are going to give you, and that is part of the joy of wargaming. Until next time, I'm praying for you.